And one thing that I feel really great about is that I do have an ability to get people to be comfortable, to get them to be themselves in my presence with a camera by me. And so you can capture the true essence of people. And if you can do that, that's magic. That not everybody can do that. It's video magic, but all it is, I haven't told those people what to say. I didn't coach them on what. I'm just getting out the real deal from those individuals, and not everybody can do that.
Good Bad Breakthrough, episode 31, Boys Edition number 2. We got Drew.
And Jason,
What up, what up, what up? Jason and I were just having some friendly banter from our last podcast about dirty daddy jokes. I mean dad and dirty jokes, sorry. See, he's got me going. This is why I don't do it. Today we're going to learn more about Jason Hafeman. He's a phenomenal, I like to edify him before I go into it, but he's a phenomenal family man. He's somebody that I admire, that in the way he loves his family. He's helped me be a better father. He's helped me be a better friend. We're going to learn more about him today. So Jason, as you said with me, Jason Hafeman, tell me about Jason Hafeman. Let's be deliberate and intentional with our time. So purpose and intent is to hear about Jason today. And I would like to ask you, let's start with, what do you value and what do you believe? Let's start there.
Family, number one for me, always has been, from growing up. And I grew up, interesting story. I grew up in an area where I had a lot of family. So a lot of my family stayed in the same area, grew up in the same area. We saw cousins and extended family all the time, big family gatherings. So family's always been really important to me, and I've carried that through into my family. The other thing, I value honesty, integrity, reliability. I have a struggle with people that I can't count on. So if you're reliable, if you shoot me straight and show integrity, and also I'm a bit of a stickler for consideration for others. Those are my big keys.
Man, I love it. And asking you that question about what you value and you believe, when you said, it's essentially family over everything, and you're accustomed to big gatherings, and you enjoy it. It explains why you do what you do with business and connecting with people. And I've had the pleasure of being in the same room as Jason when he was, connecting video, connecting audio, connecting internet, connecting different, integrating different surfaces and programs. And it makes sense why it's so meaningful and relevant to you, and why you're so passionate about it. It was a value that was instilled in you at an early age, and you believed it. It wasn't something that your mom and dad just told you. They acted it. They behaved that way, and it was the behavior that you learned. Shout out to your parents. I'm gonna manifest that. I can't wait until the day I meet them. That'll be really cool.
I would love that. They would love you too. They I mean, they were the epitome of people that led by example and set the example and showed that to the world, and they showed that to us. And so it was hard for us not to end up taking on those values.
I love it. You don't talk about it enough, and I know it's not always easy for you to edify yourself, because you're such an unselfish person, and I know that you don't always make time to highlight your value, and you're so humble, and I admire a lot of those considerate traits that you carry and that you demonstrate. You don't just say it; you demonstrate it through your action, and I appreciate that. At your core communications, a lot of people may or may not know about it, but why don't you tell us what At Your Core Communications is, when it was founded, And I would like to also know what inspired you to start At Your Core Communications.
At Your Core Communications was really something that I began for a couple of reasons, but I have a background in video, and I, I'm a trained broadcaster. I worked in TV for a while. I worked in radio for a while. I'm back working in radio, Devil Radio right now with Civic Media. But I also, developed these skills about storytelling and saw the value of video storytelling and what that could do. Actually, way many years ago, a friend and I started our own production company, and this was kind of in the early stages of online video for the internet, and it didn't we had a hard time getting business because at the time it was all new, and people were like, why do people want to put videos on the internet? And we were like, we think they really will, and nobody wanted to hire us for a while. So it was a struggle. Well, hey, everybody wants videos on the internet now, so we were onto something. We were just a little ahead of our time and ahead of the curve there. But I saw it because what it can do is show people in real time, actual people, not actors, not trained models, not whatever, telling their stories, verbalizing their meaning, their purpose, their values, their intentions to whoever wants to listen and whoever wants to find that out. And it's such a powerful way to do it. And the thing that I've seen, so this has become so widespread, Drew, and you've got all these, sources. You can just hop on your phone, make a video. You can use easy platforms to edit it and post something quick and all of that. But there's an art to it. And I've always been an artist of some sort. I always loved art, and there's art in the creation of projects like that. And so that art, like so many factors within that are is the music right? Does that shot transition? Is it at the right time? How does that feel? You feel things from a video. And then there's also, when it's done well, there's a feeling and a flow to it that you don't even notice as a viewer when you really like it and when it's done well. And that's what I shoot for as a person creating videos for people. So I do it right, and they don't even notice I did it right.
I noticed. I noticed you. You crushed the game. When you oh my gosh! Anytime you ask me questions or we do an interview together, you get me to where I want to be, and it's organic, and it's never scripted. It just, you ask the questions that allow me to be me, and I'm so grateful for that. And it's the way you frame your questions. I love that you said there's purpose and intent behind video storytelling, mm-hmm. and being able to demonstrate the message and the feelings, the emotions, the thoughts, the actions that you want the audience to receive. That's an art. I totally agree with you. I can't tell you how many times I talk about it. I'll say, the narrative they create is the story they tell themselves. Also, the narrative I create is the story I tell myself. Most people, don't understand that psychologically, we may read something and we do nothing but internalize what we read. We may watch something and we do nothing but internalize what we watched. So to demonstrate, the emotions, the thoughts, and the actions behind the story that you want to tell somebody, and to get them to be as congruent as you can, I honestly think that will determine where you go in life. I think that determines, the mission or the values that one believes about yourself. You called it earlier in the last podcast when you said, people never really know who you are. And people may never really know who we are because we never really know how to tell the story of ourselves. So I love it.
Let me say one other quick thing on that about the other piece why I wanted to start the business, because I didn't quite get there. I want to help and work with local businesses and organizations and help them elevate, help them tell their stories, because there are wonderful production companies, video production companies in the area and out there and all around the country and the world. But not all of them are accessible to everyone, because of budget, because of location, because of what have you. Okay, scheduling, all kinds of things. But a lot of times it is the budget. And so I have said to myself, I'm like, I want to help people make quality video that's not over the top. I don't have all of the equipment that maybe certain production companies will have. I'm not going to have 5 cameras and multiple drones and different things like that. But what I can do is make quality video that helps tell the story, adds to what you're saying. And the other part that's so important that people don't necessarily think about is the interview portion, about getting people to tell their stories. There's so many people that you've probably talked to, that I've talked to, that anyone has talked to, that as soon as you put a camera on them, they just clam up, or they tighten up, or they're nervous, they're scared, they're something happens, they see a red light, oh my goodness, and they're not able to be themselves. They're not able to basically portray who they really are. And I've done thousands of interviews with many, many different types of people. And one thing that I feel really great about is that I do have an ability to get people to be comfortable, to get them to be themselves in my presence with a camera by me. And so you can capture the true essence of people. And if you can do that, that's magic. That not everybody can do that. It's video magic, but all it is, I haven't told those people what to say. I didn't coach them on what. I'm just getting out the real deal from those individuals, and not everybody can do that.
I concur with everything you just said. What you're doing is you're creating an environment that's safe and supportive, and you're getting people to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And when I agree, that's a skill set that not many people have, and it's valuable. It's impactful. When you can get people to be the true version of who they are, they're not in front of a camera anymore. They're simply having a conversation, and they're sharing from their heart, and they're sharing from their past, their present, and their future, and they're sharing their vision and their journey. Recently, Jason, tell the viewers and tell us, you've had some new professional beginnings in your life. There's a new opportunity that you've taken on, and everything that I know of it helps complete your mission in life and what you want to do. Why don't you tell us and the viewers what your new beginnings are, and what you inspire to do within that platform of the business?
Sure. So I mentioned, I was in broadcasting. I started out in broadcasting professionally after school, and then stayed in it part time, and then left it once I had my first son, because it was just a very hectic schedule, and I wanted to be around. I wanted to be there for my family, and then I never really thought. I've been working for nonprofits for the last 20 plus years, and I never really thought I'd find my way back into broadcasting full time. I've been doing some podcasting, doing some stuff on my own. It's just a different kind of atmosphere and environment and feel, when you can be involved in something like radio or TV. And personally, I always loved radio more. I know for a while I maybe had the looks for TV, not anymore, but radio, I loved it. I absolutely did, and I loved talk radio. I love the format. I love the ability to kind of have conversations with people, not be so rushed like when I used to work in the news industry and you had to make a 2-minute video or 1 90-second video, have an interview that you cut down to that, and you really lost the essence of it. You really lost the heart of it, and sometimes the context. And so now I've been given an opportunity to work with Devil Radio here in Madison, but also a bigger organization that's growing around the state called Civic Media. And what Civic Media's purpose is, this is why I came on board. Civic Media wants to be a trusted news resource for local communities. And so they're reaching out into remote areas. We are trying to build a network of radio stations around the state and have the online presence and streaming presence. And in the process of that, we're reaching areas where they only hear one voice. They only hear a conservative voice right now, or sometimes an alternative version of the facts or a lot of slanted speech against people that don't look like me. And so that mission is so important to me. I said, I'm absolutely on board. Let's get factual information out to people everywhere. And let's have some dialogue and some very purposeful commentary that helps highlight the meaning of some of these facts and some of these things that are happening on the political spectrum, but also on social issues, climate issues. These are things that affect us all as humans and as people here in our state. And I've lived in Wisconsin my whole life. I love this state, and I want to be part of the solution to bring us back to where I think we can be.
Man, that's deep. I've lived in Madison, Wisconsin for 32 of my 34 years. And I tell you what, if you've been born and raised in this city and state and you haven't been outside of Madison, there are definitely different parts of Wisconsin that have different values and beliefs and different views. And it just resonates with me. You're not aware if you're not exposed. And the fact that, you and the company that you work with are going to these rural areas and getting true information and not being censored and being authentic and delivering a message that's getting out there and connecting people, not on a surface level. You know me, like can I work with them? Hey, look, Jason, sign me up. Connect me. Like, I love it. I always tell people, knowledge isn't power. The application of knowledge is. So, you're taking this knowledge and you're going to apply it and you're going to connect communities, man. That you got my vote.
You could definitely carry your own radio show. I'll give you that. You'd have no problem.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that as a compliment. I do have one more question for you, and then I want to spitfire trivia at you like you did me.
All right, fair enough.
Before I ask the question, I want to ask one question. It's the preface question, and it's just a yes or no. Do you know your life mission? Yes or no?
Oh man.
Yes or no?
Right now, yes.
Okay.
But I have had doubts over the years, to be honest.
Self-talk, I get it.
No, I'm just being real. I at times as a human, I've questioned myself. I've questioned things around me and what I was doing, but I feel like yes, I do right now.
So, Jason Hafeman, at Your Core Communications, Civic. What was it? What was it again?
Civic Media.
Civic Media.
Yep.
At Your Core Communications. We're removing all of that, and we're going to Jason Hafeman.
Okay, fair enough.
What is your life mission?
To be a good person. That's it.
And what does a good person do?
To be my version of a good person, which is be considerate, be there for your family, live a life that leaves some sort of positive impact in the community and the people around me. And that includes the people right in my vicinity, in my household, in the community. And as far as I can expand that positive impact, I will do it. But that's what I've been about probably my whole life. Every decision I've made has been with that intention. Can I find a way to make some sort of positive impact for someone other than myself?
I love it. Selfless servant leadership at your core. No pun intended. That was a dad joke, by the way. Good, Bad Breakthrough, episode 31, Boys Edition, ABC, BBD. That's some Boys to Men for you, for those who don't know. For those millennials that listen to us, Google Boys to Men. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Anchor, Pocket Cast, Audible. Jason, where can people find you out? Can you shout out a website for us, please?
Mostly at this point, you can find me on Facebook. There's the At Your Core Communications page there. And you can also find some of my work connected to Dane by Local. I work quite a bit with them in terms of creating some videos. I just got commissioned to do another video for them in October. And there's a little rumor there might be some videos for Back to Basics coming up for me too soon. right? I'm committed to it, Drew. You can count
I
me.
think that rumor is August 27th, Jason, for our last text message. Yeah, but that will be on our website, yes, in a few weeks. We don't want to overcommit, overburden. So holler back. Thanks, you guys.